be here as your celebrity MC today. To get things started, I'd like to ask you once again to give a huge round of applause for LA's very own indie tribute band, the Black Crystal Wolf Kids. You'll be hearing more great music from the Black Crystal Wolf Kids band in just a little bit. And before we get started, I would like to introduce you to a very special guest. He's the Chief Executive Officer of the House Research Institute and the producer of our show today, and just a terrific, terrific gentleman. So please give a huge round of applause to Mr. James Boswell. That was just lovely. Was that for Jim?
Yeah. I thought he was coming up on stage, but you know.
Well,
that was for him.
I guess he just wanted to take a bow. He's a little shy, you know. Jim, he's so good looking, too. I think you should stand up and face the audience. Turn around and let them see you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, you are in for a really special treat today. It is my privilege to introduce you to one of the greatest rock and roll stars of all time. Yeah! And I had the pleasure of working with him. And his dad was a fan of mine. I sent his dad a love letter. And I may send one to Paul now. Well, Paul achieved universal fame as the lead singer, songwriter, guitarist, and co-founder of the iconic band Kiss, which really changed the face of rock and roll music forever. His performances and recordings continue to attract millions of fans from all over the world. He is currently recording a new album, I'm happy to report. So please give a wild round of applause for the star of our show today and this year's winner of the House Research Institute's Lifetime Achievement Award for Recording Arts. Please welcome the great Mr. Paul Stanley.
Florence Henderson. I can't dance. Did you see her dance? I can't dance like that. I'm not going to sit up here. You're my people, so I'm sitting down here with you.
Yes.
Hi. Hi. So, must have been about 3 months ago. My phone rings, and I get a message from Dr. John House. And it's, Paul, can you please call? I want to talk to you about an epidemic. And I thought, what did I do? He called me and he told me about a serious epidemic and something I could relate to. I'm deaf in one ear, have been my whole life. Have a birth defect, can't hear on this side, never have been able to. It hasn't stopped me, so, you know, everything's gone well. But he told me that 1 in 5 young people in America right now has a hearing loss. That's pretty amazing. If it's not you, it's one of the other 4 people next to you. So, you know, it was a serious thing. He told me that in the last 15 years, there's a 30% increase in hearing loss. And the thing about hearing loss is that by the time you know that you've got a hearing loss, it's too late. Anytime you lose something like that, it's not something that you can get back. It's funny because, I mean, we're living in this loud, noisy society, and, you know, between jackhammers and jet planes and stuff, there's lots of loud noise besides going to concerts. You always have to use earplugs. I mean, I use earplugs. It doesn't take down the volume necessarily, but what it does is it feeds and filters out the frequencies that will hurt your ears. I'm not saying that when you have a hearing loss, it doesn't necessarily mean that you can't hear anymore. What it can mean is that you can hear somebody talking and have no idea what they're saying because what you've lost is those frequencies that you need to distinguish words. So it's good reason to use earplugs. I saw I'm sure nobody else did. I saw Led Zeppelin in 1968. I was a kid. I saw Jimi Hendrix in 1967. I was a kid. And the funny thing was, I had earplugs even then. What some people don't understand is, when you take a puff of a cigarette, who smokes here?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. You're a man. You know, the trouble with smoking is the first time you inhale a cigarette, what happens? You cough. You cough because your body's telling you that it's rejecting it. Your body is telling you it's no good for you. If you keep smoking, your body finally goes, hey, I told you, I warned you, and, you know, life goes on. Same thing happens with hearing. When you go and you hear something that's too loud, your ears start to ring. It's your body's way of telling you something's too loud. What you're supposed to do at that point is get away from the loud noise or put something in your ears. If you're not doing that, I'm telling you, you're risking losing your hearing. Not today, but it'll happen over time. It's also interesting that there's a lot of rock musicians, a lot of the people who you go to see, who are stone deaf. I mean, you wouldn't know from their music, or maybe you could. But a lot of these bands, a lot of these people, I know them, they can't hear anything. So repeated exposure to loud volumes, music, either on your personal listening devices. Some of those devices go up louder than a concert. Some of them go up to 115 decibels, which is crazy, especially if you have earbuds, because then the sound is going right into your ears. You have nothing to filter it out, and it takes its toll. So between that, rock concerts, clubs, look, if you worked a jackhammer, you'd put earplugs in. Your ears don't distinguish between different kinds of sounds, and they don't distinguish between different kinds of music. So it's important to take care of your ears, because you only have two. Go get your hearing checked, see what you have right now, and then you'll know what, you know, whether you need to take more precautions than other people. But you know, I use earplugs, and if you look around you at concerts, there are other people using them. I defy anybody at this point to tell me that they know a difference or notice a difference when they have earplugs in, because music's so loud when you go to concerts now, your body vibrates. I mean, it's good. It's good. You're taking in the sound not only through your ears, through your head, through your skull, through your body. So you want to turn your brain to jelly, you still can. I do it whenever I go to shows, but I'm protecting my hearing. Sometimes I like to use headphones. I use the kind that, you know, they're kind of like big cups that go over your ears. I crank this stuff up because I want to feel it in my head, but I always use earplugs. So, you know, I can't stress enough to everybody. It's something that if you lose, you're not going to get back. And we all like to think when we're kind of young or feel young that we're invincible, but we're not. So all I'm telling you, from experience, take care of your hearing. So they asked me to be here. I'm here. And it's good to see you all here. The people who aren't here, you know why there's empty seats? Because those people are deaf. All the more reason to take care of your hearing. So let the festivities begin.